Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for episode 5 of Designing for the Desert, the weekly webinar series hosted by Green Grid Designs, where we explore ideas, strategies, and innovations that help us build more sustainably in some of the world's most challenging climates. Each Sunday, we bring together architects, engineers, planners, and thinkers who are shaping the built environment in arid regions like the UAE and the Gulf, places where resilience, resource efficiency, and climate conscious design are not just important but essential. Today's session continues that conversation, but from a slightly different angle. It is my pleasure to welcome our guest, Adhiraj Miglani, an architect and interior designer based in Dubai, with a background in both design practice and business strategy. Adhiraj brings a unique perspective to what it means to create climate responsive spaces that are not only functional and adaptive, but also aspirational. We are looking forward to an open, engaging session, one that reflects the changing face of sustainability in the real estate and design world. So let's get started. Please join me in welcoming Adhiraj Miglani.
Well, thank you so much, Udeet, for this absolutely wonderful introduction. Should I share my screen?
Yes, you can go ahead, share.
Okay. Okay. Super. You can see the screen, right?
It's just loading. Yeah. Nidesh, can you just check if the screen is shared? All right. I think you just need to share it one more time and then that should be
Yeah,
fine.
I've shared it again. Can you see it now?
Yes, it's loading.
Okay.
Yes, it's loaded now.
Okay. Superb.
I think we're able to see the bar at the bottom, which you can hide, and then you can begin the presentation. We're also interested to learn a little bit more about you and your background before going into, details of the projects and work you're about to share. So we hope to hear a little bit about your own experience and, how your trajectory has been until now.
Absolutely, yeah. That would be actually quite helpful before we continue on with the presentation, as it just involves of the basically lessons in my life which I have learned up till now, and it would be quite a interesting way forward to this whole presentation as well. So the topic of the presentation that we all know that we are doing is designing smart climate responsive spaces in a arid urban landscape, but with a little bit of a niche. We are going into a specific topic where luxury is meeting the sustainability. How luxury is meets the resilience. That's what we are looking into, and how the Dubai's high-end real estate, the aspirational real estate, is meeting the climate responsive design and sustainability.
Right.
So, my name is Adhiraj Miglani. I am actually an architect by nature, and currently working with Shobha Realty Dubai, where I am handling quite a large portfolio of more than 16 billion plus project portfolio, where I am particularly leading the team in interior designing in various towers, which we are designing over here in Dubai and UAE in and around, which has master communities, luxurious individual building towers, villas, mansions. And yeah, that's how we are making our way forward in this absolutely competing luxury market of real estate in Dubai. And Shobha's name over here, everyone knows right now around the world, that we deliver the quality, we deliver the product. And
Mm.
that's what we are famous for, and that's what we strive to achieve. And how we are striving in today's market, keeping the sustainability in hand, not as a KPI that we are following, but in hand, how we are going ahead is something um, that is ingrained in our roots and in our culture, as a designer, as architects, both. So my
Mm.
academic path has been quite a long path, where I have completed my bachelor's from Sushant School of Art and Architecture in India, and then went on to do my master's in Germany and stayed over there for a little bit. And over here, I am now in Dubai. So I have quite a bit of a mix in the 8+ years long journey which I have had in my professional career, and about I can say 7 years. It would be close to 7 years of my education as well, which combines my bachelor's, my master's, as well as the current MBA that I am doing. So MBA has opened up quite a lot of insight, I would say, in the way I work, in how I work, and the dealings and the marketing and how we approach each and every project. And that's how the way forward is in today's presentation as well. So my design journey started from India, then went on to Germany, and now we are in the most competitive real estate market in the world, which is UAE. Um, so we'll start on with the presentation, which is designing for the desert isn't optional; it's essential. As we can see it from the pictures, how essential it is in Dubai specifically, because you have all these large skylines, you have very loose end footpaths, but in this heat of 50 degrees Celsius, how are you going to manage the human scale that has been neglected so far? So these are a few points which had been gathered, in which we are saying that Dubai is 50 degrees Celsius. It's a very harsh and challenging climate. The Dubai government is pushing for the 2040 plan, and sustainability is not a measure. It's something that all the real estate people are trying to inculcate in their design philosophies, and how we can offer that comfort and resilience and luxury integrated with the sustainability aspect is what we are all striving to do. Heartland 2, this is one of the Shobha's flagship community, which is just upcoming up in Dubai,
Mhm.
and how we are trying to build sustainable living, eco living over here in this community is quite essential. And what we are striving for is LEED rated, some silver buildings, and some flagship buildings at gold LEED rated as well. I won't be going along too much on the ratings of the LEED aspect, but the general aspects of how we are following sustainability and eco living in this whole community. As you can see in the plan, it's a mixture of villas, mansions, and quite a lot of towers. And how we have inculcated the greens and the water bodies inside this community, the vertical parks, is something that we are achieving, um, so that there is a co-living between the humans as well as the greenery, the sustainability. Everything is cohesively blending in into a community which is livable, which will be thriving, and which will be resilient in the way forward. So these are some of the lead categories that how the rating system is measured: the site, water management, energy management, materials, um, innovation, the priority aspect of regionality, and the transport. So this master community is total of 738,000 square meter with a 48 hectares of green landscapes that we have had. It's a smart urban community which is designed as per the solar orientation, shaded streets, lagoons in between to provide the microclimate and greenery all around. The passive cooling, urban cooling aspect has been taken care of using the lagoon cooling effects, canopies of trees, and linear parks. It's a value which is basically beyond the metrics. The lead rating is embedded in the lifestyle of this whole community that we are trying to aim for. So the design is a tiered approach massing, which you saw in the previous images. That is mansions, which is a horizontal living, and villas as a horizontal living. And then you have different podiums and tiers, which are all green and shaded. That is providing you that tiered massing. You have dual orientation of airflows, which is accommodating your central lagoons, and the community build around that canvas of lagoons and the trees within. So the facade orientation of different towers having deep balconies, high performance glazing, all the necessary standards that we all follow normally, which is the white roofs, the podium shadings, the material choices which are compliant. So scopes also are very important in terms of sustainability, how the material is getting originated and how it is basically getting used on site. So there are different scope 1, 2, 3 aspects of sustainability and lead rating that is all being taken care of. And lastly, the insulation, how the luxury and the logic is working is something which is the interior, which is insulated with the double glazed units that we are using in all our facades. This is the tiered approach in which we have the horizontal living, the community built around the canvas of the trees and lagoons, and how sustainability is basically in each and every aspect of living and being in that community and feeling to be in that community. A little bit of technical aspects of how Shobha has integrated the sustainability thinking into its community is by saving the energy loads using the technologies like variable frequency drives, solar PVs, envelope commissioning of how the building's envelope is surrounded, and what kind of materials that we are using in the building envelope. Then the water and heat mitigations, drip irrigation, smart metering technologies, the recycling of the green water from the HVAC, then heat mitigation strategies like solar reflective index, using solar reflective index materials, shaded podiums. Then we have the air quality and the materials of how the indoor air quality is using the low VOC paints, the fresh air units, CO2 monitoring, and sustainable materials. We go on to the towers, which we are actually building inside this community. This is one of the flagship towers called Skyscape Towers. It's built around and oriented in a way which is actually not ingressing so much of the southern heat and the western heat as well, and how the towers have been divided into 3 tiers, which is A being the highest, B being the middle, and C being the lowest, and how they're interconnected with a series of these podiums, lagoons, swimming pools, the greenery on the podiums, and various activities that would form that whole culture of sustainable living within this tower and the community beyond, which is Shobha Heartland 2. So these are just some aspects of these towers, how the towers are integrated and how vertically also the greens are coming in between the podiums is something which we have ingrained in our design philosophy, and how each and every individual living in each and every unit of this tower will be exposed to the open air platforms, greens, and water bodies all around. Even as you go high, the main important thing about each and every vertical living, especially in Dubai and the UAE in and around, is how we are striving for more of a vertical living instead of a horizontal. So the vertical living aspects has to be integrated not just in your home but beyond the home, which are the amenities that you take into each and every aspect of the tower where you are living in and the community you are living in. So that's how we have tried to provide various amenities inside this vertical towers itself. So the key specific features of the skyscape towers are the terrace massing, as we saw in the images, the interior zones which are aligned with the shading strategies, the water bodies which are already there in different podiums, the facades which are recessed so that there is deep balconies and fins, and the direction of the whole orientation of these towers are optimized in a way to gain most of the north and the east daylight. um, how the architecture urban planning is important, the similar way each and every aspect of internal living is important in the community, of how the luxury and the opulence is balancing this sustainable living that we are trying to achieve is something that Shobha is quite proud of, and we are quite confident in the product that we deliver to each and every customer of ours, which is achieving that uber luxury finishes with the sustainable living. That is what we strive to aim for. How each and every element, as soon as you walk into the building, is screaming luxury is what Shobha aims for, and the finished product is something that we are proud of to have it in within our system and our values. As you can see, each and every amenity, each and every detail has been highlighted, has been given importance, so that the community and the lifestyle outdoors and indoors remain the same. This is another tower. This is basically just like a sister tower to the skyscape towers, which we had a talk about. And in this image, you can actually see how the community living is getting inspired by the not just the towers, the outdoor communities that we have, the tiered podiums, the green podiums, the lagoon living, the inside vertical living in within these towers, filled with
Adhiraj,
amenities. Yeah.
just a minute, Adhiraj. So
Okay.
I'm not able to see the screen as yet, and I think there's some internet. There's something with the internet on your end because your video is lagging for every 10 seconds or so. We get like one image. It's not coming. So if could you just check if any of the other windows are open on your computer? Maybe you could, just reduce the
Can you hear me
bandwidth
now?
consumption.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you clearly. It's your
Okay.
video and the screen that is not yet uploaded. So I
Okay.
think there's something to do with the internet on the video aspect.
Can you see my screen right now?
Not yet. It's just blank.
Okay. It's weird. Stop screen. Just a second again. You would be able to see it now.
Before, yeah, it's loading. Yes, it's visible now. Now I can see it.
Okay. Till what slide did you see this?
So just before you started Sky View is
Okay.
when, yeah, but otherwise also your video is kind of lagging, which is why I wanted to just point that out before you begin the
So
next
sorry.
project.
So
So you
sorry
can
about
just,
that.
yeah,
I
check if
guess
any
it will
other.
now be all good. I don't think so. There would be any lag from now on.
Okay, okay. All right. At
Okay.
the end of this project, I'll let you know. Yeah.
Absolutely. So just going on and going on the way that we were going for, how this project is basically like a sister project of the skyscape towers that we were talking about, and how the community living is being enhanced through various tiered podiums, green podiums, the luxury lagoon living, the swimming pools, and the vertical amenities being provided in these different towers. So it's almost exactly the kind of similar scheme that we have followed within these towers as well, of how these green belts of podiums are there in each and every after certain unit flows, and how all these units can go within these vertical gardens and enjoy their amenities, their outdoor living, as well as the living which is provided within the community of Shobha Heartland too. It's a home beyond a home that Shobha Heartland 2 has tried to achieve in each and every aspect of its tower. So, just key pointers regarding the Skyview towers of how this triangular footprint maximizes the wind flow. The facade includes the double glazed units with thermal break systems to reduce the heat gain. Podiums are landscaped. The deep recessed balconies with vertical glazing helps the direct light come, but reduces the heat gain, and the central core with the three wing daylight access so that all the apartments around this tower are getting the enough daylight within their homes. As we said, Shobha's DNA is enrooted within its in-house design and build quality, which is sustainability, and sustainable aspect is controlled within the whole design aspect of us. We are trying to inculcate the concept in Shobha Constructions, which is the German precast technology, as with the mixture of the Indian craftsmanship, which is low waste, frugal construction ways, with a long term value through durability. And the key essential point of each and every aspect of our community, of our design, is that Shobha is backward integrated. It means each and every element, right from the construction, the facade, which is the glazing, the pods, which are your toilet pods, everything is made in house and everything is backwardly integrated. And that's how we have tried to achieve, and we are at that level where we can say and we are absolutely proud of the product that we are delivering, in which everything is backwardly integrated, and that's why each and everything remains within our control and the quality is checked each and every way. And that's how we ensure the lead tracking is also there right from the concept that we start out on the blank canvas. um, so, what is the way forward of Shobha's urban future? So, we are trying to develop all the developments which would be benchmarked to LEED Gold with water positivity, which is solar ready, EV integrated within the community that we are trying to deliver. The innovation would obviously be our utmost priority to attain that sustainable luxury living that we are promising each and every client of ours, with smart irrigation, with the kind of green belt and the green we I would say green management we are all inculcating within the towers and the community overall. Just moving on to what we are doing at Shobha, and what is the future vision building for the 2050 and beyond. We are trying to achieve an iconic, elegant, modern township which reflects the spirit of today and beyond, with, with which the economy seamlessly integrates with the walkable, green shaded pathways of vibrant community atmosphere, and providing a premium lifestyle which offers that luxury and sustainability for the residents, and uh, for years and years to come. That's what we are trying to aim for this future vision. But what more can the community be? That's what we are asking ourselves, and going and delving on to the new future vision of our community living. So we see it as an opportunity to create a place of nature, build a community through accessible, inclusive programming, and promote a sustainable lifestyle which offers environmental, cultural, and social as their three pillars with which the community would be built on. We are focusing on more leisure of activities within the community, more sustainability, recycling, reusing waste, and not just throwing them off, more inclusivity within the community so that there is people interaction, and that's why we want more of communities within the UAE so that there is people interaction instead of stand-alone building towers, and more community which is inclusive in its design, in its community, and within its core. And how we are thinking about this is to layer each and every program with the four pillars of the community that we strive to aim for, which is convenience, activation, leisure, and energizing. Within the convenience, you get all your necessary things, which is your restaurants, retail, kindergarten, school, all the basic amenities within the community itself, so that you don't have to go beyond the community. And it's a co-living lifestyle where you work, live, and play. Activation through various cultural programs and banquets, leisures, which are having all your indoor amenities, and energize, which is having all your outdoor amenities. With this layering, we are trying to go beyond the standard layering processes and procedures into something which would be future ready and which would be resilient in the near future, which is having your charging stations, bike path, recycle, repair zones, which no one has ever thought of, so that the each and every aspect of the community, as well as the child who is being born, he knows how to use the material sustainably, and what does it mean by living sustainably. um, then activation through various farmers markets, food trucks, public plazas, outdoor seatings, theater workshops, in terms of leisure, art and dance pottery studios, and in terms of the energizing aspects of community gathering places with a help of plazas, jogging tracks, outdoor gyms, and parks. But currently, what we see, the communities which are being built, are the walkable neighborhoods actually walkable? Which brings back to what the question we had started. Designing for the deserts isn't optional, it is essential in today's world, where Dubai is reaching beyond 50 degrees temperature, and I don't know what happens in the future. None of us knows. How can we make the neighborhoods walkable is something that we are trying to achieve for this vision of 2050. Designing human comfort at the urban scale is at the utmost important, and that's how we have learned from my experience of India, Europe, and now United Arab Emirates. The shaded walkways and the street canopies isn't something that you have to provide. It is essential for each and every living community to thrive on. The lagoons that we are featuring and focusing on, which provides a microclimate, is essential in this raising and soaring heating temperatures. The interconnected building flow is of an utmost importance in the urban scale, which is basically shaded corridors that provides the air ingress and the inflow, which is naturally ventilated. And the podiums that we are already doing, making more linear garden terraces, which effectively reduces the ambient temperature and makes the city green, clean to live. It is already being done in one of our neighboring countries, which is KSA Riyadh, in which there is the Riyadh Square that they are right now building, which focuses on the core design principles that we were taught of as an architect, which is building height to street width as an aspect ratio. So similar to the older Arabic cities that we already had, to actually take something back from our roots and make it more resilient with the technology that is being provided to us today, is something which we can offer to each and every community having that microclimate. And that's what we propose, which is the future proofing of our design, because Dubai is already promoting it in its plans 2040, the sustainability aspect. It's not an essential, it is right now should be ingrained in each and every community. Designing for the water stress is also essential, because water is a scarce resource and we should plan it absolutely and use it absolutely judiciously. The energy, again, is something which would be used judiciously in each and every living community. And how flexibly we can think of all these communities which can be resilient for the future. And as I said, sustainability is not just a KPI, it's a foundation of the value that we bring to each and every community, as and it should be as a principle in each and every architect's mind and each and every real estate company, to have sustainability being built in their communities. But what is the way forward in this? That's how we are trying to progress as a conceptual plan, where these pink blocks would be the podiums which would be surrounded by these black boxes of our buildings, and the interstitial spaces of these yellow arterial ways which would be the shaded walkways within the buildings, that would provide all the key elements and the principles I just talked about. The section would be somewhat similar, where it would be balancing the building's height to the width ratio of these yellow interstitial arteries, with the main roads highlighted in the pink being in the community and not basically dividing the community. And that's how the community living aspect we are focusing on for the future 2050 and beyond. This is the last slide, where the sustainability, as I said, is not the opposite of luxury. It's an evolution that we are trying to build in each and every community of ours. Heartland 2 has already shown how the cities and the communities can thrive in this climate and not against it. And that's what we are doing for the future 2050, where I've just showed the kind of footprint and the kind of blueprint that we would be following for each and every community of ours. So my journey across India, Germany, and UAE has built up this culture of sustainable co-living, which is right now ingrained in each and every aspect of the design principles that I have, as well as what Shobha practices. Let's build together the future that we all want to aim for, which is responsibly and together. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Adhiraj,
Thank you
for
so much,
that
Steve.
good and forward-thinking session. Your presentation today gave us more than just visuals or features. It gave us a real glimpse into how sustainability and luxury and also community can coexist, even in such extreme climates like Dubai. Um, there's so many interesting things that came up as I was looking at that. You talked about shaded podiums, you talked about vertical green areas and gardens. You also talked about walkability and about the microclimate and controlling that microclimate. One of the questions, that I wanted to know more about is how do you address, evaporative water loss when you create large water bodies like lagoons in temperatures that go up to 50 degrees, as you mentioned. How do you, control the amount of water loss from the surface of these large water bodies? Yeah, that's just one of the first questions I had.
Yeah. So currently, what we are trying to aim for in each and every community of ours is recycling the green water, which is the HVAC, the heavy cooling plants that we are building in each and every community of ours, recycling that green water for our landscaping, and reusing them for all the landscaping, as well as the lagoons that we are building in each and every community of ours. And going beyond this, we'll be installing STPs as well for each and every community. And that's how we are aiming for to achieve and reuse this gray water into what we call as green water for our landscaping and the other areas which does not utilizes the potable water.
Okay, okay. So through that kind of conservation effort, you're able to reduce the consumption.
Absolutely.
Okay, okay. Um, Now, every project nowadays, talks about energy efficiency. But what's the most common disconnect you've seen when it comes to, a design stage promise where we're doing simulations and analysis based on, the calculated numbers, and when it comes to an actual building that's executed, what would be that, most challenging one or the tricky parts that come up when it comes to matching, or which doesn't match up with simulations that we do in the early design stage.
So my viewpoint is a little bit of a different viewpoint in each and every design stage that we undertake. So my viewpoint is taking back from the past and inculcating it with the technologies that we have currently, because the past have made us realize how the basic passive cooling techniques, the material use, the kind of planning that the people they did at that early stage, where they did not have the ingress of the technologies that we are having right now, is something to actually think on and to ponder on how they lived before. So the communities, that's why
Mm,
I had focused on going back from the past, going back to the medieval ages, where we use those sustainable materials and the co-living, where the communities were built as a proper community, in which the houses were closely packed in these arid regions of the deserts. And that's how they provided those shaded walkways. And as it is, the walkways would be narrow, so there would be a influx of the airflow as well within these arterial roads. And that's what we are trying to aim for right now, in the future communities and beyond. um, all the buildings currently that we are seeing and the communities that we are seeing in Dubai, they are standalone buildings. They are not a part of a community. And that's what Shobha is trying to inculcate in terms of its design, to build larger communities which offer this co-living and sustainable living concept, where you don't need to go beyond that community, where you are working, living, as well as playing in the same community, which is offering sustainability to its core value, not just in the building and the community aspect, the philosophical aspect as well, to each and every person who would be living in that community and who would be part of that community. And that's how what we are
mm.
trying to aim for.
Super, super. So that sounds like a really ideal kind of a situation where not only are you able to get everything that you need within your community in terms of, living, but also in terms of your friendships, friend circles, interactions, social interactions, and a kind of feeling like you're living a fulfilling and wholesome life, all within the community, right? So,
Absolutely.
so when, right? So my next question is then, given that Dubai is a fairly multicultural city, right, which has a lot of different cultures coming in together in one place, and there's so much, newness in terms of learning from each other. There may be also a lot of things that you're still, you're not aware about, or you're just learning through these interactions with each other. So while, creating and fostering a space where there's more and more interaction with people, how do you take care of, or how do you, design for a place which is so multicultural, with so many different cultures coming in from all over the world? And how do you make that more, inclusive, as a space that can inform the mindsets of these people as well?
So for me, I've always looked at architecture not just in regards to the kind of footprint that we leave on each and every land that we built on, and basically what right now we are trying to focus on in Shobha is, before hitting the canvas, what is that narrative that the community is actually telling, and how the people interaction at the human scale we can make sure in that community is thriving. That is what we are aiming for, because when we are building for vertical living, especially in the cities like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Riyadh nowadays as well, where in that vertical living human centric interaction just gets lost. And people, there are so many people who are coming to the Middle East, they don't know anyone. It becomes really really lonely. And that's why the community aspect is a very big aspect to shape a human's brain, to shape their life, to shape their families. And that's what we are trying to inculcate for whosoever, from every part of the world, from every walk of life, the people are coming over here to Dubai. But the essential thing that they are missing is the human interaction, and that's what is making their lives, I would say, hollow, because you are just coming, going to work and coming back without any human interaction. And that's something which we have seen in COVID, is something which we actually crave for, because humans, from their basic root and their philosophy, they need to interact, they need to talk, so that they live a happy and happy life. That's what we are trying to inculcate in each and every community of ours, getting the maximum amount of amenities vertically living in the towers, so that there are interaction within the podiums, within the vertical livings as well. And that's why the tiered approach that we are following in each and every community and tower of ours is very essential, where the people can come into these different level of podiums, interact with each other, go and play different amenities. The amenities that we are launching are all future ready, and they would be thriving with the new technologies coming in, like the VR studios, urban living communities, even mere learning about vertical farming is something that we are providing in our towers. How people can come together and learn about vertical farming and do that vertical farming within their tower itself is something that we are aiming for. So that's how the interaction with different cultures, because you can always learn from one another. Different cultures will always going to teach you. And uh, I am the live example, coming from India, going to Europe, living and learning in Germany, and now coming to Dubai. It's an interaction of different people, and how you live, something which opens up your mind and your uh, beyond so many things as well.
Wonderful. So that's your, that's from the design intent and what one intends to do in terms of providing these, these aspects to people who are living in these structures, and how one can solve to make things a little more integrated and bring people together. So my next question is a little bit more about, when we're talking about sustainable features, right? There will always be some kind of trade-offs where we make either we, take the environment as a priority, versus what one is aspiring towards in terms of a design. And somewhere we trade that off and we incorporate. So, do you think luxury buyers are ready to embrace these design trade-offs for the sake of environmental responsibility? Or is that still a challenge in the market today where people would still rather have their luxury-based residences and not have environmental trade-offs happening in those designs?
I feel the responsibility on us as designers and architects and working with these real estate giants is something very you really need to think on, because each and every aspect that you draw with your line on your computer or you think of, it would be impacting the people for years and years to come. So my point of view in terms of, there isn't always a trade-off between luxury and sustainability, until unless you will, as a designer and architect, you won't provide those necessary things to the people. They won't even know that they can actually live cohesively with the sustainable aspects of the community that we are providing. And that's what we are thriving and aiming for, until unless we tell them, and not tell them, until unless we design for them that community, they won't even know that this kind of community can actually exist, where there is co-living happening, where there is living beyond your apartment happening. Until unless the community is there, so that they can thrive in that community, live in that community, which is safe for them, for their families, for their kids, they won't even get to know that this is the kind of luxury that they can have. So I throughout the presentation, I have always said that we don't take sustainability as our key performance index. We blend it in. It's in our roots, it's in our design philosophy right from the start, when we think of it in our brains to the blank canvas in which we sketch it out to. So the sustainability aspect is ingrained, and Shobha's backward integration system is something that is actually doing, and it's on the paper, it's in the numbers, it's in our reports that we print out. Backward integration of Shobha is the key essential point which takes us right from the concept to the construction that we are doing and to the final product. Everything can be mapped out, everything. So that's how we are making lead certified communities and lead rated buildings, because each and every aspect of what we do in Shobha is mapped out. It's there on the papers, it's there within our arguments that we put in within our design philosophy, which we put out, and the product that we give to each and every client of ours.
All right, superb. So, so essentially, you believe that there are no trade-offs when it comes to providing these sustainable communities and buildings, and that it's possible to achieve the same aesthetics that we have had all this while, and integrate all of the sustainability measures, sustainability principles in the same buildings as well. All right. So, my next question is about when we're talking about this 2050, right?
Absolutely.
We're talking about something that's happening 20, 25 years from now. And we're trying to achieve a movement or trying to achieve something different between now and then. At the same time, we also know that we live in a world of, fast fashion, fast changes. The idea of what looks good and what doesn't look good changes really quickly. There's always new things, new designs, new aesthetics that come up every, it used to be 10 years, now every 5 years, even 2 years. We have newer and newer things coming in terms of what defines what is the latest, right? Or what's something that is looking good. So when we're talking about creating things that are going to be relevant and they're going to be the latest aesthetic or still going to look the same 20 years from now, what we construct today 20 years from now, how are you going to kind of design spaces that remain relevant and remain resilient to something that, to lifestyles or values that may shift 20 years from now? So, how do you address or deal with those kind of challenges where the world will move and it will change 20 years from now, right? And but the building is still going to exist and be the same. So, how do you kind of, plan for that or leave room for things that are going to change in the future?
So there are two aspects how I would like to address this question. First is the aspect of there are three pillars: resiliency, adaptability, and sustainability. All of these three pillars go hand in hand in the kind of community, in the kind of building, or in any kind of small villa also that you are building. Resiliency, adaptability, and sustainability has to go with the kind of design and luxury that you are trying to achieve. First is that point, and second point is thinking of beyond the future, 20, 25 years beyond. You just need to take care and about what you have learned from so far, from the history and from what our older generations and the people have taught us. Go back to your roots, go back to the design principles that were there and have thrived for so many years. Once you take those principles and combine it with the today's technology and the tools that we have, is something that we can create, which can actually be thriving for the years and years to come. And that's what we are trying to do in our communities. We are trying to make those spaces which are adaptable. We are trying to make those communities which are livable. We are trying to make those communities which are interactable, which are actually a community where one person can help the other person. And that's what we are aiming for, especially in this arid climates of Dubai that we have talked about. The future aspect, the blueprint that I have shared with you, is something that we would be trying to focus on each and every community of ours. And that blueprint, where has it come from? It has come from the medieval ages of what villages, what communities used to look like earlier, when Dubai was not how we imagine these big tall buildings, when it was just a desert. Just taking that blueprint, combining it with the today's technologies, today's aspect, today's amenities, is something how we are going to create resiliency within the communities, within the people, and beyond. That's what we are trying to aim for.
Super, super. So now coming to our last question, which is looking back, what's one design idea you once thought would work, but turned out to be quite different? And what did it teach you?
Okay, so as I said, that my journey has taught me quite a lot of about different aspects, different architecture, different places. So I have always seen buildings as a kid in and around me, not just as glass buildings that we see in Dubai. That's what people want. And at the end of the day, an architect and the real estate companies, we try to give what the people want, the kind of luxury that people are wanting. And that's how we create these communities. But it's our conscious decision to give that luxury, which goes hand in hand with sustainability. So one of the decision that I wanted to make over here, especially in Dubai, is something of a blockwork building where we are not using that much of glazing, but that is something which we as architects always think about us in our principles. But now doing the MBA, learning about the marketing, the sales, and the operations team, and all the other things which goes beyond your design work is something that you have to learn. And what product is actually being sold is something that you have to learn so that you can deliver it. And that's why I feel sometimes our design principles may not align by what the people are wanting, but you have to blend them together to make that product which is appealable to people, but at the same time does not compromise on your design principles and the kind of sustainable living that you are trying to create. um, so that does not work in Dubai, and we have seen in each and every building which comes out over here is a glass facade building. And that's what we as a company, what we are trying to do is we have our own manufacturing of glazing and facades, and that's how we retain that lower e value, u value, and that's why the heat ingress in our facade is so low. And because we are manufacturing our own, we know the system, and it's a backward integrated system, and that's what we are doing. But making and a building which is in Germany or in Delhi, the kind of architectural language that they have, it cannot be copied in anywhere else. So that's why each and every country, each and every city has its own architecture, its own unique language.
Wonderful. So, one last line for all the practitioners out there. In one sentence, what would be your last message that you'd like to send out to all those who are designing out there and working on architecture, interiors, and luxury?
For me, the one last line would be three key pillars, as I said: inclusivity, adaptability, and sustainability. Let's not um, see them as individual three pillars. Let's build them within the luxury that we want to offer each and every of our client, whatever they want, even a room, even if they want a house, they want a villa, they want a tower. Let's blend all these three things together and deliver them the best product that we can.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Adhiraj.
Thank you so
Today's
much, Udeet.
conversation, thank you. Today's conversation reminded us that luxury and sustainability are not opposites. They can and must evolve together, whether it's through walkable podiums, climate conscious materials, or integrated community design. Your work reflects a growing maturity in how we shape the built environment in arid regions like Dubai. We especially appreciated your honesty about the real life challenges between design and delivery and your commitment to finding balance between aesthetics, function, and environmentally responsibility. To everyone who joined us live, thank you for continuing to be part of this weekly conversation. At Green Grid Designs, we believe that the future of architecture in arid climates lies not just in cooling and conservation, but creating meaningful spaces where people can live well and live together. We'll see you next Sunday at 2 p.m. Dubai time for another episode of Designing for the Desert. Until then, stay curious, stay climate conscious, and keep designing with purpose. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much.